What is up, Hillside Gardeners? Welcome back to another Hillside Gardener episode, and today I'm showing off my pallet fence that I built around my garden. These pallets I collected for free. They're giving them away, and so this fence here cost me 0.00. So what I've done, and sorry I didn't make a how to build video because I'm not really the greatest at that kind of thing or demonstrating this, but I'm going to show you what I have made. So I went to the woods there and I collected a bunch of, I'll say about 2 to 3 inch diameter sturdy limbs. I then dug down into the soil there and pounded these in like you would any other fence post. I cut these off. These were already dead, so no one says I went through and cut down live branches or anything like that. These are hard, really sturdy wooden posts right here. It's another example right here. This guy's pretty sturdy. But anyhow, just dug down into the soil, like right down there, and it's just pounded into the ground right there. Backfilled it with clay and then pounded it in, so it's nice and sturdy. What I have done, you can kind of see a little bit detail right here. If you can tell right there, like those are zip ties, like big zip ties right there, that are basically affixing the two pallets together. You probably should use a drill and some screws and things like that. And I would get around to it, but for the time being, I just tried to keep them together because they were, they weren't touching, so they were a little bit flimsy. But anyways, show you an example of what you guys can do to kind of make yourself a nice, I don't know, rustic-looking fence or something like that around your garden space. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, plus it was 0.00. Can't beat that. Can't beat the price. And you're probably asking what this white shade cloth or floating row cover, I think is what it really is. But what that is, I can kind of show you what I've done down here with this, looking through the fence. In here, you see these are all of my peppers. It's a better shot. Even one has a fruit already on it. But this is how I'm hardening my peppers off. We did have a couple of really windy days, so this did keep the wind off of the plants. They're really healthy. They have not got sunburned. So if you're going to harden your plants off, I recommend doing something like this. It's basically like a little lean-to, if you will. Just got the row cover on the top there, and have it draped over and the plants underneath, so it's protected from the wind and the elements. Gives them a chance to harden off naturally and slowly. They don't risk burning them out. And in case you do have a late cold snap or something like that, as long as it doesn't frost, you should be helpful. That is going to protect them a little bit. But if you do have a late frost or a freeze, you will need to take them inside. So that's why they're not in the ground yet, and they're still in their cups. But the cups are basically put into the ground a little bit for stability and sturdiness, that way they don't blow over. And plus, if you sit them on top of the soil, they're just going to blow over the slightest little bit of wind. You could damage the plant, break off branches or something like that. Anyways, so kind of zoom out just here to show you a little bit what I have going on. A little bit of a pea trellis over there on the ground. Right there you have some lettuce, leaf lettuces. And this is the remainder of my compost pile. It's going to be added to basically the bed right here underneath of us where the peppers are hardening off. This compost can be sifted out, added to this bed, and then the peppers planted directly into it. So smarter, not harder. You don't want to have to truck in compost or bring it from far away. Make your compost pile where your garden is. That way it's already there. Plus you're using your old recycled garden material anyhow to add to the compost, to make it, to create the compost. So why not do it in spot, you know what I mean? So moving over here, blueberry bush in the back. There's 2 of them right there. It's doing really well. The deer netting has pretty much protected them. You can see these 2 posts right there. It's done pretty well. My asparagus in the back over here is starting to put off some really huge spears. Now that I have this little fence and protected area, the deer got the early ones, and I was kind of worried that none of it was going to survive, but it's all right. And it has kind of started to fern out on top, which is great, helping it with the getting the healthy photosynthesis, trying to help develop those roots. And ever since it's kind of been protected, it's taken off and it's put out many, many more shoots. And what I'm really excited about is this this entire row right here of my hardneck garlic. You see all the way across to here. This garlic, in my experience at least, is not the healthiest, best garlic I've grown so far. My first attempt was not nearly as successful, but this soil up here is awesome. And this is the Spanish Roja version of the hardneck garlic. So definitely looking forward to trying that and harvesting that. Down this row here, I'm sorry guys, it's really hard to kind of tell, but doing the best. Those are celery plants. There's 4 celery. They're doing pretty well right there. Moving into some purple cabbages. There's 1 and there's 2. And this right down here is some Chinese cabbage that has been just absolutely eaten up by the slugs. So that's kind of the chance you take. But, you know, if it gets too bad, I'll probably just pull those up and transplant something else into its spot. It was kind of just kind of on a whim anyhow. But one thing I will show you right here, this is kind of the before and an after. I'm sure we all get packages delivered to the house, especially now more than ever probably, since we can't go anywhere. But, you know, to take this old cardboard, you know, not the colored cardboard or anything with, you know, shininess or something like that. This is some old, just corrugated cardboard. You lay it down in your paths in between your raised bed or your rows right there. And what I do is I'll leave this cardboard down as a barrier. And then I'll add stuff on top of it. So whether you have food scraps or if you're making some compost or whatever it is you're doing, leaves, grass clippings, whatever, put that on top of the existing cardboard right there. And that's going to help break it down for one, but it also makes more of a barrier. And it's all just going to kind of make your walkways and your pathways become basically little miniature compost piles that you can then pull off from the sides or just turn and add to your compost. Anyhow, I think it just makes the process a little bit better and keeps the rows clean and neat and everything like that. But you can kind of tell on this side here, see a little bit of the cardboard kind of sticking through. There's been leaves added. There's a little bit of compost and some things on top, and the cardboard is breaking down, which helps feed the worms. Worms love cardboard as it's breaking down. And like I said, as this material breaks down, it's going to keep the pathway clear. It's going to keep it clean, and then as it breaks down, you can then take the compost you've created right here, and you can then, you know, move it to from like the inside of the path here, and you can then use it to add to the existing beds, just as another way to create more compost in place for your plants to feed them, etc., etc. So this was just a little update of my pallet fence. If you have any questions on how I built it or any kind of questions of what you should do, the question you may already be asking is, this going to be effective to keep the deer out, because it's only what, 48 inches tall, something like that. And even in this spot right here, as you see, these 2 little guys right here are a little bit shorter than the others. So if there is a way for the deer to jump over, it's going to be easy, path of least resistance to take this one. So I may have to get 2 larger ones. Just seems like for some reason these were on a different angle as far as getting the pallets to go through the post right there. But anyhow, that's why I left the 2 stakes, one here and this one there, a little bit higher. I will eventually run some kind of string or some kind of something between the 2 to basically even up the pallet heights with the other ones as well. So that's how I made my free pallet wood fence, using just a little handsaw to get the branches or the limbs from the woods, hauled the pallets off for free, and used some zip ties. So you guys can do it too. It's not that difficult. Well, it is difficult. We had to dig all the holes and, you know, pound all the posts and everything in, but it's okay. In the long run, it's going to be free. It's going to be durable. I think it looks kind of cool. Hopefully it does enough to deter the deer, which nothing ever will, because they'll find a way to destroy everything in my experience. But worst case scenario, you do have a solid structure like this that eventually, if you want to, you could put some corner post in, that real 8-foot tall corner post, and you can then string deer netting in front of this, kind of like to enclose it even better if you wanted to. That way you have the actual fence structure, you have something to look at, something tangible, and then you have the deer netting around it, which hopefully won't be too much of an eyesore, especially if you get some of the finer mesh, as I'm trying to say. That way it's not going to be as visible, so it will deter the deer that way. And you also have the wooden fence to look at, lean against, whatever you want to do. There you go. So hopefully you found this informative or interesting at the very least. Maybe just an idea you can use for your backyard to repurpose some pallets, especially if they're free. Reusing some of that cardboard you have delivered to your house every day. A little bit of interesting way to kind of harden off your plants. You know, you don't want to get them sunburned. You don't want to burn them out and get them too exposed to the elements too soon, especially if you've grown them inside. The sun's going to do some bad stuff to them when they're not ready for it. But there you go, guys. So if you like this, go ahead and subscribe. Leave some comments. If you have any questions, drop those down below as well. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time here on the Hillside. Bye-bye.